I was walking down the street, feeling kind of neat, when the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. Oh, it was a sight to see, my hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise. I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands, 'cause the wind came out your butt and now it's somewhere in the land. Oh, wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. Baby, you drive like shit. Did you see the car that you almost hit? I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. She just ran through always stop. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. You been made over. Heard you bit your tongue. Gotta let you know I will fuck you up. I whoop that ass, talking all that shit, spank that ass till you tap like a bitch. No, I ain't playing. I'm here to kick ass. Whoop that ass. It's time to punch face. I'm the one who brings you pain in the ring. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Throw a punch like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man, a radioactive tip in his hand. His hand grew 10 times its normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew if the bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpowers to make a bitch listen, then get her naked with sex-ray vision. Sweep a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the pimp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, it's pimp named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, pimp named Superhand. That motherfucker was super bad. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fucked it up. Sometimes you gotta learn respect. I use my pimp hand to correct. It's called a big slap, slap. Come get your face clapped.
Governor Walz just did is he said, first of all, Donald Trump has to listen to the experts. And then when he acknowledged that the experts screwed up, he said, well, Donald Trump didn't do nearly as good of a job as the
that's a gross generalization.
that he did. So what Tim Walz is doing, and I honestly, Tim, I think you got a tough job here because you've got to play whack-a-mole. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver rising take-home pay, which of course he did. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver lower inflation, which of course he did. And then you simultaneously got to defend Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record, which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable for American citizens. I was raised by a woman who would sometimes go into medical debt so that she could put food on the table in our household. I know what it's like to not be able to afford the things that you need to afford. We can do so much better. To all of you watching, we can get back to an America that's affordable again. We just got to get back to common sense economic principles.
I hope we have a conversation on healthcare then.
Senator, Governor,
please.
Thank you, Margaret. We have a lot to get to ahead, gentlemen, on many topics. But right now, I want to talk about personal qualifications. The vice president is often the last voice the president hears before making consequential decisions. We want to ask you about your leadership qualities. Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17, worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now, look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything, many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
All right, so pretty much he didn't answer the question at all about him not being there when he said he was there. But we have Uncanny up in the building. Sir, Uncanny, what's going on, man?
Hello?
Hello?
How you doing, Jay?
You know, like you.
How you doing, fellow Riddler?
Another night, Joker.
I see you holding it down for me, messing with Jay and shit.
Of course.
His other anti-villain is in the fucking chat, but he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where Red at, man. I ain't reading. I'm driving, so.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you, Riddler. If anybody can piss off Jay, it's that guy. But Uncanny has one question. Ever since 2001, I mean, I'm sorry, since the September 11 attacks, God, rest in peace to those people. There has always been one question that we need to ask ourselves in a time of political debates and all that shit. Where is Ja?
Where's Ja?
Where is Ja? Where is Ja Rule when we need him to help us?
He's with his boyfriend somewhere, I'm sure.
Where's Ja Rule at? We need Ja Rule for these answers.
Yeah, Ja Rule's with his boyfriend somewhere now.
Ja Rule's gay?
Look, we not going into Beans conspiracies.
Ain't no conspiracy.
We need to stop doing that, man.
Ain't no conspiracy. Ja Rule came out. What are you talking about?
I want everybody to understand, because I don't think Bean knows how this social media shit works. We do not make claims like that.
Allegations.
Everything that comes out of Bean's mouth is all his and his only. It has
Allegedly.
it has nothing to do with the network. It's all Bean. I've been trying my best to regulate this shit right. That is his thoughts. That is his beliefs. It has nothing to do with anything.
Allegedly. Those are
Allegedly,
Oh,
Ja Rule's
shit.
gay. But where is he? Where is Ja when we need him?
allegedly after the fireman thing, he you know, the concert that failed.
Yeah.
Allegedly he came out.
Oh, so allegedly he's fruitcake.
I don't know about that term, but he's with the ABC boys.
Ah, and we're not talking about liquor, the liquor store.
Nah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, allegedly, where is he? We need him.
His murder.
I don't believe.
See.
Hold up. Hold up. I'm singing the wrong one. Which one are you singing? So you pissing Jay off tonight? Is that what you're doing, Bean? Yeah, I heard him a couple of times go, what are you talking about? Let's get back to the video.
This is bad when we're trying to actually have a show to like inform people about the debate. Bean got a big problem. I ain't like this is not telling anybody about themselves time, but we need to stay on topic, y'all. We got to stay on topic.
Okay.
We're trying to get through this thing.
We got to stay on topic. All right. So basically, I feel like nobody won this debate. I feel like they didn't pull no punches. They were very civil, and that's new. You know, some allegations towards each other. You know, but thank God they didn't talk about the whole eating cats thing. You know, the pets are being eaten and shit. So other than that, I go for the boy on the right. I like him. He's a stand-up guy. You know, he doesn't hit low blows.
Okay, which one's on the right? It all depends on how you're looking at it.
Oh,
Let's say red or blue.
Blue. Walls.
Okay, so he's with Walls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Ohio, so I actually know more about JD Vance, but I don't know stuff about him. But Walls, he seems like a good American boy, you know, like Superman or something. Like,
And JD Vance, no?
he fucks his couch. Allegedly, let me say that. Allegedly.
He fucks his couch.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
Now the joke is,
I just feel like I had to throw that in there. Y'all keep
yeah,
going.
yeah. Accusations. He has sex with his
The
couch.
accusations that he well,
He
I
humps
don't
his
know
couch.
if that's true or not. I can't speak on that. I mean, I don't hump the couch or two. Everybody has. You get drunk enough, you can do anything. Uncanny?
Yeah, we lost Uncanny. He's back now.
Oh, there we go.
You said you fucked your couch too?
You have to.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe dry.
Yeah. Nah, we about to get back to the video.
Wait. Accusations on the humping the couch. But,
Allegedly.
allegedly, but supposedly. Yes, Hurricane. I don't know where this conversation goes, but I'm just saying. Supposedly, JD Vance humped his couch. Allegedly.
Hey man,
And-
every network has to have a hype man, and that's me. I bring the fun. The
Me,
crazy
you are
shit
not
to this.
hyping. You are bringing demonetization. That's what you're bringing. You're bringing demonetization right now. I'm trying my best.
But wait.
I will, Hurricane. I will be editing this part out. Yes, I will be.
I'm just saying, like he's
I'm bringing
supposedly was-
demonetization.
it's Jay. I'm just saying he just supposedly he was American Pie his couch. That's it. That's all I gotta say. And that's a weird problem for me. You know, I don't want to know that my vice president is out here, you know, terrorizing all the rooms to goes and shit and
Man,
asking.
he got
places.
a
You know what I
wife
mean?
and 3 kids, man. And
But that doesn't mean that
he grew
that
up.
doesn't mean.
He grew up closer to me and you than Walls did.
But Walsh looks like my coach. Like he would pee-wee football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Walls looks like somebody's principal. He looks like
See,
our high
Red.
school
See,
principal.
Red. We know you be fucking your couch. Now that's not allegedly. We know that. That's facts.
Jesus Christ.
How do you fuck a couch?
Like, hold up, man. You can't ask that question after you said it. We all done did that. You can't do that. Like, I be listening to what y'all be saying, man. I be listening to y'all, man.
Oh,
Look, we gonna
shit.
go. We're gonna go back to the video, y'all.
Okay, just find Ja Rule. Jay, find Ja Rule for me, please, man. Find him. We
Where's
need
Ja?
him.
We need
Where
Ja.
is Ja?
We need Ja right now. Look,
All
we're
right,
gonna play
man.
just a little bit more of this. Jesus Christ.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the
No, just-
discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
Thank you, Governor. Senator Vance, in 2016, you called your running mate, Donald Trump, unfit for the nation's highest office, and you said he could be America's Hitler. I know you've been asked many times, and you've said you regret those comments and explained you then voted for Donald Trump in 2020. But the Washington Post reported new messages last week in which you also disparaged Trump's economic record while he was president, writing to someone in 2020, quote, Trump thoroughly failed to deliver his economic populism. You're now his running mate, and you've shifted many of your policy stances to align with his. If you become vice president, why should Americans trust that you will give Donald Trump the advice he needs to hear and not just the advice he wants to hear? You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, Margaret, because I've always been open. And sometimes, of course, I've disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald Trump. I was wrong, first of all, because I believed some of the media stories that turned out to be dishonest fabrications of his record. But most importantly, Donald Trump delivered for the American people. Rising wages, rising take-home pay, an economy that worked for normal Americans, a secure southern border, a lot of things, frankly, that I didn't think he'd be able to deliver on. And yeah, when you screw up, when you misspeak, when you get something wrong and you change your mind, you ought to be honest with the American people about it. It's one of the reasons, Margaret, why I've done so many interviews is because I think it's important to actually explain to the American people where I come down on the issues and what changed. Now, you pointed out the messages from 2020. Margaret, I've been extremely consistent that I think there were a lot of things that we could have done better in the Trump administration in the first round if Congress was doing its job. I strongly believe, and I've been a United States Senator, that Congress is not just a high-class debating society. It's not just a forum for senators and congressmen to whine about problems. It's a forum to govern. So there were a lot of things on the border, on tariffs, for example, where I think that we could have done so much more if the Republican Congress and the Democrats in Congress had been a little bit better about how they govern the country. They were so obsessed with impeaching Donald Trump, they couldn't actually govern. And I want to talk about this tariff issue in particular, Margaret, because Tim just accused this of being a national sales tax. Look, the one thing, and you're probably surprised to hear me praising Joe Biden, but the one thing that Joe Biden did is he continued some of the Trump tariffs that protected American manufacturing jobs. And it's the one issue, the most pro-worker part of the Biden administration, it's the one issue where Kamala Harris has run away from Joe Biden's record. Think about this. If you're trying to employ slave laborers in China at $3 a day, you're going to do that and undercut the wages of American workers unless our country stands up for itself and says, you're not accessing our markets unless you're paying middle-class Americans a fair wage.
Senator, your time is up. Nora?
Thank you. Now to the issue of reproductive rights. Governor Walz, after Roe versus Wade was overturned, you signed a bill.
We're gonna stop real quick. Bean, any thoughts on the economics of some of the few things they spoke on? And shout out to my boy Op, said, nah, you tried to take the top spot and lost like all the fakers. And Red said racist Care Bear versus nervous. That's not how you spell Colonel. Colonel Sanders. That's not how you spell Colonel. I don't think that's how you spell Colonel. But Hurricane said got it, Red. They all look like reptilian shapeshifters. Damn. All right, B, anything on the economy that they were speaking about? Just economy.
They started talking about the. Thank you. When they started talking about the medication.
Ozempic, yeah.
Nah, the insulin, sir.
No, well, here you go. Well, they say insulin, but I remember that. Here you go. Keep going.
Yeah, that shit still ain't $5. I know that because I paid for it. That shit's $100 a pop. That's with insurance.
How much was it?
I don't know where they keep
4
coming up
years.
with these magical numbers and all this shit, but coming from somebody
How
that's
much-
really going through it right now.
How much was it 4 years ago?
Better insurance, or I guess the rates are better. I used to get 5 vials for $30.
5 vials for $30, and now you get 1 vial for $100.
5 for $100.
5 for $100. All right, keep going. You said what were you taking? Insulin?
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Son, he used to ride the bus with me when I used to take it.
No, I'm just clarifying.
Oh. Yeah, but as far as this economy goes, man, you can't pull money from thin air. But you know, my main concern is what's going to happen now that this storm just happened. You know, we're out of money. Nobody has any money. FEMA doesn't have any money. The American Heart Association, American Kidney Association, all these different associations that normally have money, they don't have any money. There's no such thing as a middle class anymore. Okay.
Keep going. Let's see.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to explain that, bro. There's no such thing as a middle class anymore. It's either you're rich or you're poor,
agree.
bro. Like, there's no. The economy's gone. That's just what it is, man.
Oh, I agree.
And when he was talking about we can still fix it, how are we gonna fix it? Fix it with what? Where's this money gonna come from? You know, you can't. What is it? 100 trillion right now?
100 trillion what?
400 trillion in debt?
Oh yeah, the debt's pretty big, man. Your boy, I think that you leaning towards put a lot on it in 4 years. Almost
Yeah, I was
as
gonna say
much
you're
as
not gonna fix that in 4 years, brother.
No, I'm just saying, like, he put a lot in 4 years that most presidents didn't put in 8. And he's gonna do it again. I can guarantee that. That man know how to spend money.
Yeah. Thank you, too.
This man out here getting food and shit, y'all, during the middle of a live stream. I bet he went to Insomnia Cookie or some shit like that. Well, he
How
can't
you
eat sweets
knew?
like that. Oh, you went to
How you
Insomnia
knew?
Cookie for real?
Yes, I did.
So you ain't supposed to be eating sweets, man.
Hey, man. Pregnant wife at home, man.
Jesus Christ. No, Lord.
Red velvet cookies. Gotta get the red
This
velvets,
is
baby.
terrible. Jesus, Lord.
Happy
help us,
wife.
please.
Happy wife, happy life. And guess what?
that's it.
The light was on.
I say this. Like, we need to change this. You need to change that topic. Happy wife, lose your life. Because you ain't supposed to be around them all them sweets and shit. You know that, but I ain't gonna tell you.
Oh no,
See,
man! I ain't deadly, man. I ain't crazy.
Man, you gonna diddle it in one of them bags and try one of them cookies out. I know you is. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, man. I'm good, man. I got my own thing going. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I hope and pray. Well, look, we gonna keep playing the video. Look, we already coming up on 2 hours. I normally try to do these 2 hours. I'm gonna play a little bit more. Y'all, I dropped the link in there before. I'll drop it again one more last time. And if anybody want to join up, we're gonna end probably at 2.5 hours. So that's pretty much 34 more minutes. Let's keep going.
Bill into law that made Minnesota one of the least restrictive states in the nation when it comes to abortion. Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
That's not what the bill says. But look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade, 52 years of personal autonomy. And then he tells us, oh, send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. Amanda Zaworski would disagree with you on it's a beautiful thing. A young bride in Texas waiting for their child at 18 weeks. She has a complication, a tear in the membrane. She needs to go in. The medical care at that point needs to be decided by the doctor. And that would have been an abortion. But in Texas, that would have put them in legal jeopardy. She went home, got sepsis, nearly dies, and now she may have difficulty having children. Or in Kentucky, Hadley Duvall, a 12-year-old child, raped and impregnated by her stepfather. Those are horrific. Now, when God asked about that, Senator Vance said 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is no right in this. So in Minnesota, what we did was restore Roe versus Wade. We made sure that we put women in charge of their health care. But look, this is not where, if you don't know Amanda or a Hadley, you soon will. Their Project 2025 is going to have a registry of pregnancies. It's going to make it more difficult, if not impossible, to get contraception and limit access, if not eliminate access to infertility treatments. For so many of you out there listening, me included, infertility treatments are why I have a child. That's nobody else's business, but those things are being proposed. And the catch-all on this is, well, the states will decide what's right for Texas might not be right for Washington. That's not how this works. This is basic human right. We have seen maternal mortality skyrocket in Texas, outpacing many other countries in the world. This is about healthcare. In Minnesota, we are ranked first in healthcare for a reason. We trust women. We trust doctors.
Senator, do you want to respond to the governor's claim? Will you create a federal pregnancy monitoring agency?
No, Nora, certainly we won't. And I want to talk about this issue because I know a lot of Americans care about it. And I know a lot of Americans don't agree with everything that I've ever said on this topic. And, you know, I grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood where I knew a lot of young women who had unplanned pregnancies and decided to terminate those pregnancies because they feel like they didn't have any other options. And, you know, one of them is actually very dear to me. And I know she's watching tonight, and I love you. And she told me something a couple years ago that she felt like if she hadn't had that abortion, that it would have destroyed her life because she was in an abusive relationship. And I think that what I take from that as a Republican who proudly wants to protect innocent life in this country, who proudly wants to protect the vulnerable, is that my party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump and I are endeavoring to do. I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word. I want us to support fertility treatments. I want us to make it easier for moms to afford to have babies. I want it to make it easier for young families to afford a home so they can afford a place to raise that family. And I think there's so much that we can do on the public policy front just to give women more options. Now, of course, Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona. And the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy. And I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
Governor, would you like to respond and also answer the question about restrictions?
Yeah, well, the question got asked and Donald Trump made the accusation that wasn't true about Minnesota. Well, let me tell you about this idea that there's diverse states. There's a young woman named Amber Thurman. She happened to be in Georgia, a restrictive state. Because of that, she had to travel a long distance to North Carolina to try and get her care. Amber Thurman died in that journey back and forth. The fact of the matter is, how can we as a nation say that your life and your rights, as basic as the right to control your own body, is determined on geography? There's a very real chance had Amber Thurman lived in Minnesota, she would be alive today. That's why the restoration of Roe versus Wade. When you listen to Vice President Harris talk about this subject and you hear me talk about it, you hear us talking exactly the same. Donald Trump is trying to figure out how to get the political right of this. I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said about what's happening. His running mate, though, does not. And that's the problem.
Governor, your time is up. Senator, let me ask you about that. He mentioned, I think, referring to a national ban. In the past, you have supported a federal ban on abortion after 15 weeks. In fact, you said if someone can't support legislation like that, quote, you are making the United States the most barbaric pro-abortion regime anywhere in the entire world. My question is, why have you changed your position?
Well, Nora, first of all, I never supported a national ban. I did when I was running for Senate in 2022, talk about setting some minimum national standard. For example, we have a partial birth abortion ban in place in this country at the federal level. I don't think anybody's trying to get rid of that, or at least I hope not, though I know the Democrats have taken a very radical pro-abortion stance. But Nora, you know, one of the things that changed is in the state of Ohio, we had a referendum in 2023, and the people of Ohio voted overwhelmingly, by the way, against my position. And I think that what I learned from that, Nora, is that we've got to do a better job at winning back people's trust. So many young women would love to have families. So many young women also see an unplanned pregnancy as something that's going to destroy their livelihood, destroy their education, destroy their relationships. And we have got to earn people's trust back. And that's why Donald Trump and I are committed to pursuing pro-family policies, making childcare more accessible, making fertility treatments more accessible, because we've got to do a better job at that. And that's what real leadership is.
Governor, your response.
I'm going to respond on the pro-abortion piece of that. No, we're not. We're pro-women. We're pro-freedom to make your own choice. We know what the implications are to not be that. Women having miscarriages, women not getting the care, physicians feeling like they may be prosecuted for providing that care. And as far as making sure that we're educating our children and giving them options, Minnesota's a state with one of the lowest teen pregnancy rates. We understand that too. We know that the options need to be available, and we make that true. We also make it, we're a top 3 state for the best place to raise children. But these two things, to try and say that we're pro-children, but we don't like this, or you guys are pro-abortion, that's not the case at all. We are pro-freedoms for women to make their choices. And we're going, and Kamala Harris is making the case, to make options for children more affordable, a $6,000 child tax credit. But we're not going to base that on the backs of making someone like Amber Thurman drive 600 miles to try and get health care.
Senator.
May I respond to that? First of all, Governor, I agree with you. Amber Thurman should still be alive, and there are a lot of people who should still be alive, and I certainly wish that she was. And maybe you're free to disagree with me on this and explain this to me, but as I read the Minnesota law that you signed into law, the statute that you signed into law, it says that a doctor who presides over an abortion where the baby survives, the doctor is under no obligation to provide life-saving care to a baby who survives a botched late-term abortion. That is, I think, whether you're pro-choice or pro-abortion, that is fundamentally barbaric. And that's why I use that word, Nora, is because some of what we've seen, do you want to force Catholic hospitals to perform abortions against their will? Because Kamala Harris has supported suing Catholic nuns to violate their freedom of conscience. We can be a big and diverse country where we respect people's freedom of conscience and make the country more pro-baby and pro-family. But please.
Yes, Governor, please respond.
Look, this is one where there's always something there. This is a very simple proposition. These are women's decisions to make about their healthcare decisions, and the physicians who know best when they need to do this. Trying to distort the way a law is written to try and make a point, that's not it at all.
What was I wrong about, Governor? Please tell me, what was I wrong about?
That is not the way the law is written. Look, I've given this advice on a lot of things, that getting involved, that's been misread, and it was fact-checked at the last debate. But the point on this is there's a continuation of these guys to try and tell women or to get involved. I use this line on this, just mind your own business on this. Things worked best when Roe versus Wade was in place. When we do a restoration of Roe, that works best. That doesn't preclude us from increasing funding for children. It doesn't increase us from making sure that once that child's born, like in Minnesota, they get meals, they get early childhood education, they get health care. So the hiding behind we're going to do all these other things when you're not proposing them in your budget. Kamala Harris is proposing them. She's proposing all those things to make life easier for families.
I asked a specific question, Governor. You gave me a slogan as a response.
It's not the case. It's not true. That's not what the law says. So they fact-checked it with President Trump.
Gentlemen, there's a lot to discuss. We have to move on.
All right. With the immigration issue, I'm going to go ahead. Matter of fact, let me and Bean come up full screen on this one. I'm going to go ahead and say it again and repeat my exact same stance on this. If the left is going to argue tooth and nail that women have autonomy of their own bodies and do whatever they want, even though they control all our bodies, just throwing that out there for you, just some of the things you're just not complaining about right now. If that's the case, if a woman has the right to have an abortion if she wants to, I will be perfectly fine with that. In one instance, one only, y'all. If a man has the right to not financially be required to take care of their child, if she decides she wants to keep it. And I believe if they pass that in the law, we'll correct all this nonsense. Because a lot of ladies are getting pregnant just because they want to get a bag off of somebody, or it's just cute because all the other girls in school are getting pregnant. They're just getting pregnant for no damn reason. And then the state holds the man liable and gives the women a get out of jail card for this decision that both of them made. One person is held responsible and another person is not. One person is held accountable financially and another person is not. So if they want to get to that point of saying like, hey, yeah, you can have all the abortions you want, whenever you want, however you want to do it. It doesn't matter what the man says, all that, whoop, go ahead and do it. But also, if you decide you want to have that baby, the man on the other side has the ability to say, yeah, well, guess what? I don't want to pay child support. I don't want to be in that child's life. And guess what? You can't do nothing to me legally. I believe a lot of ladies wouldn't get pregnant. But when there's a safety net, a get out of jail free card, I can't agree with these policies. I can't. I believe there should be some responsibility and some accountability applied to this. If you open up your legs and got pregnant, you can't get an abortion unless you got consent from both people, the man and the woman. Not just because the woman feels some type of way. Now, if it's a medical issue, I'm 100% behind you. The doctor's going to tell you what you need to do. That's going to be in the best interest of you.
2010.
Hold up, Pete. Hold up. If it's going to be in the best interest of you and the kid, and you got to have it, I got you. But there should be a conversation between the man and the woman, and they both need to agree if it's going to happen. Otherwise, you need to change the law. I can't get behind that. And let's see, we got Bean. You wanted to say something. I'm going to go to Red, and then we got Miss Jackson in here, too. Bean, go ahead. You go first.
In
Me, you breaking up. You breaking up. It sounded like you was going through a disconnected area. Say something again. He might be saying something. He'll be, if you saying something we cannot hear. Okay, he come back in. All right, say what you were saying again, me.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood back in 2010. I saw this for an example. Okay, there were, I'll say the university, several females who attended Troy University that it was just common knowledge and word around campus is that they were known for aborting babies. And there was this one specific female on campus who had over 12 abortions. And the only reason they know she had 12 abortions is because the people that would take her, she didn't have a vehicle, so people would take her. So that's one reason why I don't support that whole just aborting baby thing. I'm not with that.
Tell me your stance on it, because I gave mine, and I think it'd be good for everybody to
the only way you should be able to abort a baby is if it's for a health reason or the R word.
All right. I'm not gonna hold you on that. And we got Miss Jackson up in here. Miss Jackson, you're gonna have to unmute yourself. I had to mute you because you get the background sound. But go ahead. Come back in here just like that. But yeah, Miss Jackson, unmute yourself real quick. Give me your thoughts so far, especially on the abortion part.
All right, just jumping in on the tail. Well, first of all, I would like to address the overall debate. Last night I watched it. And I believe, okay, so from all our worldwide nation main news channels aired it. So we got, ABC worldwide, CNN, CBS, NBC, and so forth. And the panel that they spoke amongst each other said that Vance won as far as being the more presented speaker, experience, you know what I'm saying, more prepared. So as far as the actual debate, they're saying in that sense he won. Now, when it comes to morality and character, Tim Walz won. At the end of the day, he put it out there Tim Walz put it out there what the policy is and what bills that she will sign, where the parties from Vance basically you told lies, and he ducked and dodged a lot of the questions and stuff, and didn't really clearly or straightforward answer them. And the ones that he did answer was straight lies, a bunch of bullshit. So I think Tim Walz, by him being inexperienced and just a common man, he was a football coach, a school teacher, worked his way up to the top. I think he did a great job, and he delivered pretty well and executed on their policies.
Ones.
So he
when
did
win. Get exposed, them be your worst ones.
All right. Well, here we go. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep moving. We got Red up in the building. Red, you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, man, you ain't got your logo and none of that shit, man. You need to just come on camera. But give me your thoughts so far.
Well, on this topic, the abortion thing, I'm in agreement with you, of course. However, I think a lot of it comes down to what's getting done at the back end. I feel like a lot of hospitals are making a lot of money. A lot of these clinics are making money. And maybe some organs might be being sold, and organs are very valuable. So this veneer of, it's women's freedom, it's women's choices. It's such clear propaganda at this point. I'm just sick of it.
No, look, I agree with you. Look, I believe that. Look, I don't know if a lot of people know, but a lot of the medicines that we take, especially life-saving medicines, are made from the embryo, not the embryo, but the sac of the baby. Regardless of what they
cells.
Yeah,
and then you got the plasma, and then you got the whole adrenochrome thing.
Yeah, a lot of look, there's a lot of dirty things that go on. Like, if people really knew what a hot dog was made out of, I don't know if many people would eat a hot dog. That's what we're getting at right now. But I truly believe when
1% human flesh.
You really want to get to the point. Being good God Almighty, Jesus Christ! But look,
Glizzy, glizzy.
look to the point that I think we're most of, well, at least me and Red are trying to get at is we need to make this situation fair. If women want to be able to do whatever they want to do, if it comes down to them getting pregnant, then men should have an option on the backside too. Because if we really want to make it fair on the very beginning, on the very front end, they both had a decision to make, whether to protect themselves when they were going to engage in whatever act they were going to do. So if they want to have carte blanche, women can go get abortions whenever they want. They should have carte blanche. A man can decide that he doesn't want any financial responsibility. And I believe that would correct the issue. But right now, I think we have a safety net that allows people to do certain things to pretty much.
Yes, you're trying to put a check box on a pack of condoms. You want to put a contract on a box of condoms, basically.
I find it funny how the moderator slipped in the fact that, oh, JD Vance, you would sign a law that would make America the most brutal anti-abortion law country in the world. And I'm like, in the world? The rest of the world doesn't even have this issue. This isn't a hot political issue in the rest of the world. Europe has much stricter abortion laws than us, than almost every state, and nobody really cares.
I think what she was trying to insinuate is that under what JD Vance actually wants, if you actually look into him, JD Vance wants no abortions at all for any reason. So that would make
When did he say that?
Oh, so look, you go back and watch him, bro. That's why he was trying to backtrack on some of his words. He was like, yeah, I might have said some things in the past and I learned from it. That's part of the shit. Like, you can look, just go check his Twitter feed. That's why I don't have a Twitter. Because I might tweet something today.
Has he ever said, like, has he ever clearly said, I am not in favor of the exceptions?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to go check his Twitter. You can type it in. You can type it into Google. You'll probably find it.
But what I like about
he said that too about the Republican that was running here in Michigan, and it turned out to not be true.
Well, just Google it.
Well, what I like about Walt's theory is they're not forcing it, okay? They're just placing a law that, you know, people have their faith and their morality and their personal beliefs, you know, of why they believe is not right, or they choose not to do that. You know, a lot of women. So it's not forcing the law. It was giving a person an option that if they choose to, they have the free will or the right to do so for whatever reasons. So what I like about him is not a forced act. It's just, you know, you have that option.
Well, and I'm with you, because that's really what the argument is about. It's a religious argument. I am somebody that believes in a higher power. I think most of us believe in a higher power.
I know people that aren't religious that are on the same side. I think it's a moral argument.
That's fine. I'm saying that's fine, but majority of the time it's a religious argument. That's what the basis, where the nexus of where it's coming from.
And the religion informs morality.
Yeah, it does. It does inform a lot of the morality in society. But the one problem that I have is, in this country, just because I believe something as my faith, it shouldn't be legal to enforce it on other people. It should be a consensus in this country, because this country is supposedly a melting pot. We have people of all different religions, all different backgrounds, all different beliefs, and we should come together and form something that could work for all of us. Just because we have one group that says, well, I'm Christian and you ain't supposed to do this, for somebody that is religious, well, not religious, but I believe in a higher power. I don't want to claim none of them. I don't believe they should have the right to enforce their beliefs on other people. And then on top of that, for their own book to say not to do that. America's not a Christian nation. It's not. It's not a holy nation. So don't try to, like, this country cannot try to fall back, or at least one group or a group of people try to fall back on, we're doing this because of religion, or we're doing this because it's the moral thing to do. This country does immoral shit all the fucking time. What do the majority of Americans agree on? And if they agree on that, then fine and dandy. Fine and dandy, let that be the law, but that's how the law should be.
So if women are like 51% of the voting population, and they vote to have all abortion legal whenever they want, 9th month, post-birth, whatever, you'd be okay with that?
We're gonna have to convince some of the women to like not believe that. But the sad part is we got a lot of women that actually don't believe in that. We have more people that are not for carte blanche abortions than it is people that are for it.
Exactly, because the only policy that the Republican Party has is faith reasons. It's for spirituality or Christianity, saying it's the M word, you know, is M, is taking a life. So they're basing their policies and principles off of that and that alone, you know, not pertaining to, because I mean, the debate was good. They were civil, they was cordial, but they touched on different topics, and you have rare issues. You know, some people, one girl was raped by her stepfather. He impregnated her at 12 years old. You know, just different little ins and outs, and then the issue with the young girl, the Amber girl, who basically, if she had it, it was going to cost her a life if she didn't get one, and she ended up passing away because she couldn't get to a clinic in time. So, you know, it was, they touched on all different issues, but as far as Republicans go, it's just because they say it is not right spiritually or biblically.
Well, that's a logically, you know, sound conclusion to come from if your religion tells you that. But the other side is arguing, no, I want to be a slut. I want to get knocked up and delete it just because I don't feel like raising it.
Now, Red, I'll tell you, you know, I don't agree with that logic, but if it was a law, I would have to go with it. I don't agree that a lot of the laws we have on the books are not enforced. They pick and choose what they want to enforce and what they don't.
Yeah, isn't it illegal? I think like in Alabama, it's illegal to tie an alligator to the stop sign on a Thursday.
We're not the alligator state, man. I don't know why Alabama keeps getting labeled as that.
It's illegal to hang clothes on Sunday in Alabama. It's also illegal to walk down the street with an ice cream cone in your pocket on Sunday as well.
Okay, I want to know how that law got written. Was somebody like wilding out with ice cream dripping down their pants?
Oh, Alabama's full of stupid ass laws like that, but every state is, bro. There's some dickhead somewhere who was bored one day and just wanted to be a douchebag, man. And time went on and people just forgot about it because it wasn't important. Like jaywalking. You have to jaywalk now.
Look, picture it like the Trump tax cut. Like, look, we had a bill that was written to do the taxes, and at the last minute, it was like, oh, we're gonna get it through, and everybody just ran there and started writing shit in. You got some dumbass laws that are written in every fucking state. Like we had color code laws. I forget what they call. Well, you know, you couldn't be black and walking down a railroad at a certain period of time. It's a dumb law.
Jim Crow.
The government's too big. Legislature's too big. We should just delete it and start over.
No, I agree. And we need to go to Hurricane's point. Viva Revolution. But I don't think a lot of people are actually ready for that. But we need to change a lot of things, and we need to actually really take control of the government that actually should be working for us and not the other way around. We have more Americans now afraid of their government than their government being afraid of them. And that's where you have displaced power, because the power lies.
That's a problem. Yeah.
It's a big fucking problem. And when it comes to these two vice presidential candidates, neither one of them are going to give us a solution to fix this problem, because it's status quo no matter what. One side is saying we're going to change some shit, even though there's a proven track record that, motherfucker, you did exactly what the fuck you said you wasn't going to do. And then you got another side that just keeps on doing the same old status quo. People need to have a real come to Jesus moment and really think about this shit. Like, motherfucker, they playing in our face.
And you really see it when they have moments where they agree, like on Iran, for example. They're basically arguing about who's going to nuke Iran harder.
Pretty much. I'm like, who made America the judge, jury, and executioner with what happens in the world? A lot of people complain. I've talked to I talk to a lot of Americans outside of the United States, and I've actually talked to a lot of Americans in the United States, and they talk about how these other countries feel about us. But if we actually take a second and think about our mindset when it comes to the world, us against the world, America walks around and acts like they are the big dog on the block, and they gonna do whatever the fuck they want. Why wouldn't anybody
John
else
F.
feel some type of way?
John F. Kennedy said, when I want children across the world to think of America, I don't want them to think of a man with a gun.
And that goes to the Marine Corps entire standard. We're here to win the hearts and minds. That's the whole point of winning the war. The hearts and minds.
It's kind of hard to do that with an M16 in the middle of the night.
It is. That's why they try to do all that diplomatic bullshit to try to trick motherfuckers in. Like, look, you see my army on the other side of that hill, right? You see them? They got rockets, they got guns, they got missiles, they got everything. Now, you gonna sign this paper, or do I need to send them on up here? That's what America does.
Biggest
It's like,
hypocrites
look,
in the world.
Yeah, we will murk you and take your shit. And that's what America was built on, murking people and taking their shit, and they do it around the world. And a lot of people don't understand why a lot of people in other countries do not like the United States. Why can't Iran have a nuclear weapon? Because the United States.
Because here's why. Because Israel is afraid of them if they have a nuclear weapon. Israel doesn't want Iran to have the negotiating power that comes with having it.
Exactly. There you go. If somebody got something that it's like them people that had a problem with Diddy. Matter of fact, it's kind of like the FBI right now with Diddy. Hey, look, Diddy, we get you with all these charges, but I bet money they want somebody else. They don't really want Diddy. They want
Diddy
somebody
has
else.
a nuke.
Well, they say Jay-Z next.
Exactly. Diddy just the person that they could get to, and they know he got information. It's like that's how the United States is, man. It's all about leverage. That's what it's all about. And people don't understand it. They're not thinking deep into the game of what's going on. And that's the problem with this country. It's all surface level thinking. These people that are running, these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about us. We spend so much
It's really
money.
demoralizing because, like, I feel like the average person, like, if they were informed, they wouldn't want to be going to war. They would want peace. Like, most Americans wanted peace right before World War II happened. And then they staged, Pearl Harbor.
Hey, think about this. Think about right after 9/11. Bush tried his best to go over there after that. They attacked us. Americans like, man, calm down.
Dude, all of them did. Bill Clinton, Bush, both Bushes, Obama.
Yeah,
There's like 5 presidents with 10 wars between them.
I'm talking about that select period of time where after 9/11 happened, George Bush and them came out. Him and Dick Cheney was like, yeah, it was these people that did it. Afghanistan, Iraq. That's where they came from. We want to go to war. And the American public pushed back on that. But after he said they had weapons of mass destruction, put that fear in Americans' heart.
And Saddam was gassing people.
Yeah. Then we went. Think about this. They knocked down towers. They fucked up the Pentagon. Thousands of people passed away. The American public was like, nah, chill. But as soon as the motherfucker said, yeah, they could blow this whole country up. Like, yeah, go get them. Go get that motherfucker right now. And we find out the whole time, they ain't had shit. And then on top of that, where we went was not where they were from. It's just a game that
it was very convenient for that other country down there. Same thing with when they took out Gaddafi.
Yeah. See, so I got somebody up here thinking. They seeing.
Yeah, when they took out Gaddafi, that was like the end of the Middle East.
And then they saying, God, we trust.
There's a line in your face, and everybody holding that shit in their pocket.
Gaddafi was one of the main people who held it down over there.
He was creating like an African central bank, but we can't have that.
No.
Did you guys
free
see
healthcare, free education?
What's his name? Josh Shapiro. He was in Pennsylvania last week signing bombs that were going to Ukraine, like with a smile on his face, autographing bombs that are probably going to be, chopping up 18-year-old kids.
I mean, think about this. That's the hypocrisy of, and both parties are with it. They got mainly to the Republican Party that I'm gonna focus on right now. They care about a life. You care about a life inside of a woman's body. but you don't care about a life after it gets outside of it because they're the number one warmongers in the United States.
Come on now.
Like, I'm like, let's think about that shit. And Democrats, look, they ain't gonna hold their tongue on this. They ain't gonna hide their hand on it because
Well,
they
they're
be right there with
more
them.
for war now. Like Trump
God,
is
they
actually
be
dialed
right there
back,
with him.
even from Republicans. That's why George Bush and Dick Cheney don't support Trump, because he says, you know, I want to end the war, and they're like, oh, does that mean you want this guy to win? He's like, no, I want to end the war.
And
And
Trump ain't
we
trying to
can't
end no
have that.
goddamn war, man. He just talk. Man, look, come on, man.
He didn't have
He
any.
talking about inciting
He didn't
war.
start any.
Red, by now you gotta know that man just talking, bro. You know that man just talking, bro.
4 years, he didn't start any.
He look. Thank God.
No,
God
but
he
he
didn't
did
start
drop a
any.
Moab.
Look, he
Yeah,
did a lot
he
of
dropped to
talking.
Moab, he killed Soleimani.
Look, I'm not gonna hold it when it comes to like war and shit. Honestly, that's not my problem because I'm not gonna be somebody that's called up for that shit. But I do not want to.
I got one more year and I can chill, and I'll be 25.
Now you still always gonna be get caught, man. Look, if you never served, you might want to read them goddamn.
Dude, I just read. They just changed the draft laws. They changed them in 39 states. So I just learned this. If you get a driver's license in Michigan, you are automatically put into the selective service without even knowing about it.
Yeah, most people are. That's how it is in most states. For men.
That's
make sure.
Unless you're the firstborn, the firstborn or secondborn, some shit like that. If the firstborn is already enlisted.
Wait, so am I good?
No, you're not.
Yeah, but I'm a firstborn.
You're not good. You're not good. You're gonna definitely.
They changed the law.
If it ever comes down to it,
in World War II, it was the firstborn. They changed that when they just redacted that. A couple months ago, a year ago.
Yeah, it's just straight up conscription across the board. If you have not served this country, you are on the board for being able to be drafted. And the sad part is, the people like me that have actually already served, they'll probably be the first ones that they'll come for.
You're in the top tier. People who are prior service,
they'll try to.
Yeah, they don't want to train us lazy smoking Zoomers.
Oh no! They're gonna do y'all too. Just throwing it out there. They can do multiple things at the same time.
What's the age limit now? The age limit, because I remember back in
18 to 25.
08, they were saying up to 30.
That's for the draft. But if they actually did look, I'm trying to tell you, overnight, just like how they did with the Asian hate crime bill, nobody is safe. Like, man, you might be lucky. They probably just adopt what Ukraine did.
Yeah, Ukraine had those laws too, and then when they got invaded, everything changed, and they just started dragging people out the house,
grabbing people out the house.
It was like 60-year-old men, women.
Yeah, that was their age limit, 18 to 60. The United States, look, we saw how they did it with the Asian hate crime bill. They got that shit. We talk about government not working. When they want to get something done, they do it just like that. And
when they want to fight a war, they got all the money and resources and experts.
All the money, all the effort. We making government move right now. That's gonna happen. So
that's why they try to make everything a war in the propaganda. It's a war on crime, a war on poverty, a war on drugs.
Don't forget about the BRICS nations and the currency flip that's about to happen. It's already occurring.
Oh, look, just I want everybody to understand this, and this is the point of covering this debate. None of these motherfuckers give a fuck about you. So when any of us have an allegiance to one side or the other, just understand you're giving yourself a thumbs up while sticking a thumb up your butt on the back end. That's all you're doing. Because you might get something, some feeling, some idea of something that you want, but I promise you, they're fucking you behind the next door. Just like when Trump said tax cuts, I'm gonna give y'all these tax cuts. They want to reform the tax cut plan right now because the corporation shit is still going on. Yours is done. The one they did for you as the American people, the average day worker, your shit's over with. But the corporations are still going on. They gave them a permanent tax cut, not you. You're getting fucked one way or another. Just like when the Democrats sit over here and talk about, we want women's rights, freedom for their body and shit. They're fucking a lot of the men that are in America, almost half of the population, because these men are going to be held liable for the bad decisions that him and that woman made. We gotta really look at this
You
situation.
know what? We should start a coalition to where, like, the message is, I am for lenient abortion laws if and only if it comes with mandatory DNA tests at birth.
I would be cool with that too, though. Like, that would be one step in the right direction, in my opinion. Like, let's say dudes can't just terminate their financial obligation, just mandate that paternity test. Because we got men that are paying child support for kids that are not.
And then you have to change the laws and make it so that even though that fathers who are not biologically related don't have to pay child support, because there's non-biological fathers that still pay.
I agree. I agree.
The military will screw you like that. I know a couple guys who, I guess you can say, picked up the second child, to the spouse. And they were in the military. Well, the military still held them responsible for that child even after the divorce. You still pay
after you, dude, imagine going to Iraq, getting shot at, getting cheated on, getting a divorce, and then you have to pay.
Yep. Yes, sir. That's a real scenario that really happened.
Talk about trauma. That's worse than getting like PTSD from war.
Stepped out for a minute.
Are we gonna watch any more of the debate?
Nah, I think he's summing it up because he's been on for a minute, but they was near the end. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. They had covered addressed most of the issues.
Well, this is what I'm about to do, y'all. I'm gonna go around the panel real quick, and get everybody final thoughts on the debate. And then if anybody wants to join the after party, y'all know we chop it up in the back. I will drop the link one more time if y'all want to come up in there. But we're gonna go around the panel real quick. I'm gonna start off with Ms. Jackson. Final thoughts on the show and on the debate and everything. And if you got somewhere you want them to find you at, let them know where you want them to find you at.
All right, final thoughts for the night. I think that when your character speaks volumes of who you are as an individual and whether you can be trustworthy. And so if you have a party that's dishonest, that's pretty much telling lies, it speaks volumes of your character. So policies is where it's at. Overall, like I said once before, my father had a talk with me, broke it down with me on independent party and our generation is at this moment in time in our life and in our nation. That's where it's at, independent party. So, but overall, the debate was decent, civilized. And I just say, again, everybody vote to do your part, what you can do to, hey, make a change and make that effect.
And is there anywhere they can find you on social media if you want them to find you?
And I'm working on it. Not at the moment. I'm working on it, and I would love to join the backstage tonight, but phone finna go dead.
Put that thing on charge.
All
right. Now, next we're gonna go to Beans World, sir. Final thoughts on the show tonight.
Yeah. It's just we're screwed regardless. I mean, I can't speak on what she just said as far as judging people off of their character based off of their political beliefs, because some people supported Hitler and they're still walking around today. So you can't necessarily say just somebody's political beliefs, but at the same time, I'm not for nor against. I am pro-woman, have the right to pick to choose what they do with their bodies. But at the same time, the only way you should be able to delete a baby is if it's that R word or if it's a health food. And that's what I mean by the pick and choose with your As far as the economy goes, they can make promises on everything they want to, but it's already gone. It's too late. You know, we're so many hundreds of $1 trillion in debt. You're not gonna fix that in 4 years. You gotta remember, if JD Vance and Trump win this election, you know, basically he's just springboarding for Vance to run the next, because Trump can't run another 4 years. So, but in closing, you'll find me on here, you know, amping this channel up, JVJ, the network, and that's all I have.
All right. Next up and finally, Mr. Red Illusion. Sir, final thoughts.
So analytically, you know, 90% of language is body language. I saw Vance. He looked pretty prepared. He looked pretty comfortable here. It was kind of like a Kennedy Nixon scenario. And Tim Walz was looking a little nervous. His eyes were bulging. It looked like he was sweating at one point. But I'm not a fan of this debate style format, like muting the mics, fact checking, and none of them are answering questions. It would be much better if it was like some Joe Rogan type shit and they're just sitting down talking to each other. But I'm Red Illusion. You can find me at that on YouTube, and Red Z Illusion on Instagram.
All right, man. Y'all heard it here first. Look, man, my final thoughts on everything, man. Look, we're not here to tell you which side to vote for. We're not telling you which side to align yourself with. Just trying to give you information so you can open your mind up and think. Think for your goddamn self and stop letting these people that get on TV and on these debates or whatever try to warp you into believing a certain thing. Really listen to what they're saying. Pay attention to what's going on. Really compartmentalize what's important in your own personal life and what you actually truly care about, and stop using all these other things to just get your vote. Like be knowledgeable, y'all. That's all I can really tell you. Just be knowledgeable, and hopefully we can get to a better place. I can't change the world. Everybody ain't gonna make the boat. I don't think any of us can change everything that's going on here, but all we can do is try to help and put our little foot forward. And this is my way of trying to do it. But look, y'all, it's been fun. It's been great. I hope everybody that came in here hit that like button for your boy. I hope y'all subscribe. Y'all have not, man. Make sure y'all turn them notices on. Hit that button for all, so y'all know every time we dropping them, and we doing it every night. But and share the videos too. Share the videos. Facebook, TikTok, whatever the fuck y'all like to get on. I don't know what y'all be on, man. I don't be on that shit. I just be right over here. But yeah, share the video so we all can then let the people see what we got going on around here. But we're gonna be back here again, y'all. You want to join the after party, hit the after party button. But we're up out of here. We'll catch y'all in the next one as always, man. Peace.
Peace.